I love refrigerators.
Well, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. I have not had a whole lot happen in my life. I've had pain in my heel, making it difficult to go around. I've had the flippy floppies in my chest with my heart doing stuff that's had me worried about things. So I have been, ever since becoming homeless back in October, I have been in a state of high stress. I mean, even now, everything going on with my health has got me still in a state of high stress. So that's joyous. But one of the things that happened, I finally got a call. I got a call yesterday, got a call this morning. Neither time was I able to answer the phone, and I do not have a voicemail box set up. So I got a call from the clinic. Called them up, got through the phone menu system, finally got an answer. My doctor had the x-rays in front of them. It's bone spurs. It is, in fact, I have bone spurs on my heel like I had 40 years ago. I have been 40 years without this. I had bone spur problems when I was under 10 years old. I had bone spur problems when I was 20 years old. Then they stopped. Now I'm 61 and I got bone spur issues. So I'm gonna get a call from the podiatrist in week and a half, hopefully, specialty type clinic. We'll figure out what we're gonna have to do. Yay. Still, life is life. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Also, I have a pain in my upper right quadrant of my back now because of the CT scan that they did on my lungs. They've had a good look at everything up in my body up here. Nothing that they have seen that's like grossly standing out. So that pain is likely, I got scoliosis, and it pulls and twists at stuff. So likely that's probably what it is from. So it's good to know that it's maybe not a nothing burger, but they're going to send me to physical therapy so that they can do an assessment to see what exactly it is that's hurting, and then see what we can do to get around that. So that's good. I mean, that was nice to know. The fact that I now know, I mean, it doesn't change my situation. My right heel is a mess, but now I know what the issue is. So that's good. Now, because yesterday I had found out that there was past evidence of myocardial infarction, heart attack, on my system, I've been mildly weirded out about that ever since. A lot of people have left messages and comments talking about how they've had relatives, or it's very, very common. So I Googled up an article to check on it, just to, see what the all official word is. And yes, silent heart attacks are way more common than you would think. Where, mentioned in comments, somebody had a grandfather who felt a little bit of weirdness in their chest for a little while, like 10 seconds, then it was over. They went back to doing the lawn mowing, and when they were done, went off to see the doctor, and they had a heart attack. So that actually happens a lot. The bad part, if you have a loud heart attack, apparently the morbidity is right around 50% at the end of 10 years. Now that long 10-year thing, that sounds kind of bad, but it's the same way they check for like a lot of things. If you are, say, an opiate addict and you stop, if they're doing surveys on people who have stopped that sort of thing, they will check back with you in about 10 years to see how you're doing. If it's an alcoholic, 5 years, because if they wait 10 years, all the alcoholics have relapsed and died. So they got to do it at 5 years. But they do a 5-year thing out. It's like with cancer. Do a 5-year check at the end of that, and if you're clear, you're considered clear. With heart attacks, loud heart attacks, at the end of 10 years, about half of all the people that have had a loud heart attack have died. It happens. It's damage to your heart, and your heart has to pump blood, a lot of blood, and it's not easy, especially getting it through the last parts of your system. The stats on those who have had silent heart attacks, same stats. About half of the people that have had a silent heart attack die within 10 years. So, if I have had one within the past 1 to 5 years, then I'm not out of the woods. If it's something that happened, as I semi-suspect, as stated back when I was taking a lot of acid back in the 90s, I had a chest pain that went from my chest up through my neck and into my jawline. That's one of those, oh gosh, heart attack sort of things to look for. Problem is, when you are taking acid, your muscles lock up. If you're sitting in a chair, you may end up going crickety, crackety, crickety, crackety, crunch, and then you stand up going crickety, crunch. And so you got a lot of stuff that sticks and crunches. You get lots of weird pains. So, was that just a weird pain, or was it a heart attack? If so, that was like almost 30 years ago. Well, it was 30 years ago, so probably not going to kick off anytime soon. But again, I'm out trying to walk and do exercise as much as possible, so if that can affect your cardiac system, hopefully it is for the positive. But yeah, these are the big things that I have found out. I have not done a whole lot since. I mean, I've been trying. I have been trying, but as I've talked here and talked with my therapist, I have a lot less spoons right now to spend than I normally would. I'll try not to get distracted on this like I have the past couple days, but normal person, you have 90 to 100 spoons to spend. Everything you do costs spoons. When you hit the end of a normal day, you'll have a handful of spoons left out of those 90 to 100, and then you go to bed, you recharge, you have all those spoons the next day. People with chronic illnesses and such like that have a lot less spoons. I have been having like 70 spoons on a good day. This has cut down the amount of spoons I have to spend a lot. My heel, the past month that it's been ramping up, has been just reducing the amount of spoons I have to spend. When I'm sitting down to record and I want to record or I want to play something, a lot of the time, the spoons I've spent just to make it through the day, I don't have enough to record anything. And it's the heel and the pain and all the issues from this. It's getting to the point, I'm like lucky if I have 40 spoons to spend. And that sucks, because I've got stuff I want to share. I've even got stupid ideas on this one. I mean, I'm quite sure I'm squirreling off on this one again, squirrel. But I've got plenty of ideas for things that are really stupid. Like one idea for a video on, it's like questions and answers. There are people that do science stuff. They'll do lightning question rounds, and they'll do blind questions where people ask them questions and they answer the best of their ability, and then might do a Google search afterward. And one of the things I think that would be funny is like somebody who's going to do something like that, and it's like every time there's a question, it's like, oh Jesus, I don't know the answer to that. These are all a lot harder than I thought. I haven't studied this stuff for so long. I don't know. Let's just go on to the next one. And you can't go anywhere with that, but as a one-shot, that sort of thing, it tickles my funny bone. That's the sort of thing that makes me laugh, so yeah. And I have played, not a full game of it, but a couple rounds of Under Falling Skies. That is a hard one, because that's like Space Invaders, the board game. You have a mothership at the top of the sky. It releases these smaller ships that come down, and you are trying to get enough research that you can defeat the aliens before the mothership descends entirely and destroys whatever city you happen to be in. And it's fun. You know, each round you have to try and excavate new things so that you can keep your base growing. You've got to allocate resources so you can get power. You have to use that power to do things like scramble your fighter jets. You can destroy the ships if they land on a certain spot and they're moving around at random, but you set dice down to allocate where things are going to happen. But when you do that, well, every time you play a die on the board, that column of aliens drops down, whatever number on the die is. So the bigger the number, the better for you. And the bigger the number, the worse for you. Because each time they come down all the way, you take another point of damage. And when you take 10, you lose the game. You need to get a full track of research. So thumbs up for that. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. Something that will take a while, but I want to play that for the channel too. So I have done it, but then I got on another board, a game last night. One Deck Dungeon. I think it's One Deck Dungeon? Yeah, because it's got an app that you can actually use. Which the app irritates me because they say, oh yeah, if you use the app you'll get randomness, which you can't have on the paper things. No, that's just because you're lazy. You can put random tables that will simulate the app very easily. You just didn't want to put that into the rule book, which I actually understand. It's called One Deck Dungeon. It fits in a small box. You had to pare the rules down as much as possible to make everything fit. So yeah, the best way to do that was to offload some of the rules onto an app. So it's still seemingly, and I've played some of it, pretty good. So I want to play that on my own and for the channel. I mean, I want to continue playing all my stuff for myself, but I also want to continue to play this stuff for the channel because I think it's fun. I want to share it. Past that, I have not really done anything. I'm going to try and do some stuff today, as stated, recording, playing games and such. My Xbox controller, I let it dry out in there and it works, which is good because I've tried to use my PlayStation controller with my laptop, and the PlayStation controller is kind of supported by Windows in games, but a lot of them, no. Games that work great with the 360 controller or the Xbox One controller do not work with a PlayStation controller. So thank goodness the controller works. Now, I have had the PlayStation itself sitting on a box in my bathroom with the fan pointed on it ever since it happened yesterday. I'm going to have the fan blowing on it at least until tomorrow. Then I'll try plugging it in. And if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna drag it on down to some place and ask them if they can repair it. If it like goes and smoke comes out, then we'll see what happens. I mean, I say I'm gonna drag it somewhere. I don't have money to repair it. So we shall see what happens. I mean, I don't have an Xbox because my Xbox died and I can't afford an Xbox. So if this is dead, I can't afford a PlayStation. Anyway, though, that's what's happening there. And as I've talked with my therapist, though, as much as I don't interact with people very often, I'm still a human being and I like to talk to people and interact occasionally. But here, I really like it here. I like being around people. I talk to the people that live here. And I interact to some degree as much as I can, which isn't much. I like the fact that there's a community center. I go in there a lot. I like the fact that this is big enough that I feel comfortable, small enough that I can keep it clean, and small enough I don't want to stay in here 24/7, which if it was slightly larger, I probably would. But because it's a cracker box, I get forced out because I get to feeling claustrophobic. I like being on my own. I don't like being in solitary confinement. So I get out, I interact with people. As stated, I like being around human artifacts. I like being around human activity. When I was up in Port Orchard and they were having farmers market type things, I like going to the farmers market on the outsides of it. I don't like being on the inside where everything is happening. I like being on the outside where there are fewer people and I can just look at people having fun. I don't need to actually interact. I just need to see other people having fun, and I feel like I'm part of the human race. And that's good. So while I don't like interacting a lot per se, I do like being around people because I am a people. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, I'm going to continue doing what I can do. I'm looking more into, on the solo RPG front, there is a fairly new OSR type thing release called Forge that's supposed to be pretty good, so I'm going to be looking into that. Hopefully some 4 Against Darkness here real soon. First, though, Fallout New Vegas. I haven't been able to record it since destroying my controller. So now that I know it works, hopefully today I can get that done. I mean, it would have been like a $50 expenditure to get another controller had this one died, so I'm glad it didn't. But until then, I haven't been able to play anything. But I want to get more Fallout New Vegas. I want to finish this DLC, get back into the other stuff, and start doing just the normal questing again. That'll be good, and then head on to the other DLCs and then do those too. So thumbs up for that. And of course, as stated, 4 Against Darkness, Note Quest, all sorts of solo RPG stuff that I want to do, all because of Compton and her, there, and I say there because I mentioned how that there was a Dwarlin, a Elvandri, and a Hob that are part of the party that Compton is in. I'm also using this as a, if Compton dies, I'm going to be activating one of these because I've grown to like those characters just because they're still ciphers, but I've been running them through the adventures. Yay! So, hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done today. If you cannot, do not beat yourself up. It doesn't help you get things done. It just hurts you. So, yay. Try not to. And of course, if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. Taking me from a badly hurting monkey to just a hurting monkey, and that is appreciated to no end. I can't put your names up here yet, but when I can, remember, I will. And until that time, you are beautiful and awesome. And when you look in the mirror, you are looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome. For everybody that leaves me a comment, thumbs up, thank you. I answer as many as I am physically possible, which is nowhere near as many as I would like to do. If you have watched this far, and thank you if you have, if you could type denture cream into the comments to let me know that you have, and to let the YouTube algorithm know that people do watch the video, so thumbs up and thank you. So yeah, I got not a busy schedule, but a schedule, and hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done as stated. That would be good. And hopefully I'm not just gonna die sometime. I mean, 61, I ain't gonna live forever, so I gotta die at something. After all, as the comedian Rodney Dangerfield, who died a long time ago, so if you don't know who that was, I don't blame you, but he said, at his age, he was like 80, he could take perfect and wonderful care of himself until he finds himself into the hospital dying of nothing. So, hey, at least enjoy yourself. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Oh, hokey smokes. Yeah, I don't want to kick off anytime soon, so I'm hoping that, yeah, I mean, my genetic father lasted to 81, so if I'm not going to kick off anytime soon, maybe I'll last at least that long.